Hello. It says I'm live. I'm going to try something new. You get to see my face today. You're like, oh my goodness. You've always heard my voice and seen my hands, but I'm a cheapskate. So I didn't pay for products that you need in order to be able to do all of these different things. But, excuse me, Black Friday specials are amazing. I was able to upgrade a streaming program that I've been using online. And that's why you all of a sudden are getting to see my face. It's not going to stay that way the whole time because I'm going to show you a couple of cards. So today I'm calling this Christmas card inspiration because I've got a couple of cards for you that use the designer series paper that is an online exclusive. It's called Traditions of St. Nick. Let's see if I'm live on any of my devices. I would really like to see myself to know how it's going. So, how about if I switch cameras? I have to go to a particular spot. So, get ready. Here we go. You're on a trip. Now you can see my workspace. I believe that looks pretty good. It's not too washed out. The fun thing about this is you can comment. Let me know you're watching, and I can interact with you. I believe it's posting. There you go. It did. It posted. So I'm kind of trying to see if my phone is going to let either of my devices, if it's going to show me that I'm live, because this is streaming through. I'm not sure which. Yeah, I went to the wrong page. I'm an administrator on several pages. Let's see. No, but that's okay. I'll be able to just do these cards. So, I was going to go ahead and put up my online store that you can shop with me. The thing of it is, it's probably going to be in the way. So I'll do that later. And my name is Mary Lou Foster. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas. That is halfway between Dallas and Texarkana, up in the northeast corner of Texas. Texas is huge. So when you say I live in Texas, um, you could live in a number of different areas and not even be close. So, like I said, today's cards, I use the Traditions of St. Nick, and I wish that I had a paper sample to show you. I have used a lot of these papers just to make cards. There's not a coordinating stamp set for this. All that's left of the Santa Clauses are these two pieces. And we're going to use the piece with the stockings and then the red kind of toile. I love that word. I don't think I say it correctly, but that's okay. It's still fun to say toile. So this is a fun fold card. Fun, and it can be a gift card holder as well. These lovely little envelopes are called classic gift card envelopes. And guess what? They are going to carry forward, which means they will probably be on the website as online exclusives. They might be in the next annual catalog, but as long as we know they're still available, we'll kind of know to go looking for them. So we're going to do something fun with that by decorating the flap. Like I said, it's a fun fold card. I will post the instructions on my blog, and I will put that information in the post when I get finished. I always edit the post a little bit more. So I'm not going to necessarily try to tell you everything as we go, but this is cut 4 1/4 by 11. Yep, 4 1/4. And I've got the metric side up because the other side was stamped on. And then you score it at 5.5, and then at 2 and whatever a half of 5.5 is. What? 3/4? Let us measure. 2 3/4. And in the card kit, we made this one in class week before last. I had to move my class. This is a landscape orientation, basically. Oops, there's 2 of these because one of them is going to go on the flap, and the other one is going to go on this flap. So let me see. I'm going to kind of plan it out just a little bit. There are 2 of these because one of them is your front kind of label, and the other one is going to slide up as the liner of your card, but it's going to hide right behind this one on the top. So what I'm trying to see is what's going to show, which is the better piece of paper. And I think this one will because it has that tree right there. Yes. I'm going to use my bone folder and kind of firm up that. And let's go ahead and please pardon my fingernails. If I sit still long enough, you'll see they're in pretty sad shape. They're still pretty from a distance, but yeah, they're chipped and coming off. So it's Choral Society weekend coming up. I sing in our Choral Society group. I am not a solo voice. I don't do a big fancy stand in front of a mic and do a solo. I love to sing. So I get to sing with about 100 voices. I'm an alto, so there are 33 of us, I believe, altos, and about 30 to 33 soprano. And then the men make up the remainder, half basses and half tenor. And we have the best time. Last night was our rehearsal with our small orchestra, because we hire extra orchestra, and oh my goodness, they add so much to the concert. The violin, we have a flute player, poor thing, I think she plays on nearly every song. Clarinet, he also plays oboe, trumpet, French horn, and trombone, plus a stand-up bass, and then our own pianists and keyboardists, and a spectacular percussionist. It's called A Celtic Christmas. We have a live, real bagpipe player. So for us, that's the highlight of this concert. He will be greeting our guests as they arrive. I know this sounds like an advertisement for Choral Society, but I would really love it if you love choral performances. Ours are not stodgy, sit in your seat and be quiet while we sing. There are always surprises. And that bagpipe player is going to get to do a solo, and he's going to play one that the audience can sing along with. So it's worth the price of admission to see him. And he lives close. He's in Dangerfield, which is, I don't know, 45 miles away. In Texas, remember, that's not far. So I have tickets. You can buy tickets online, or you can just show up at the door at 7 o'clock Saturday evening, 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. It's $15 for adults. If you have children between the ages of 6 and 12, they are $5, and your little ones under the age of 6 get in for free. All right, so I have my paper. I love these stockings. And this was sort of an impulse shop because I knew I could probably use this paper for little gifts that I make for my booth up at Good Treasures. That's what I do with my leftover extra cards for, I try to keep seasonal items. So right now I'm stocked heavily Christmas with all kinds of little gifts. Excited about these envelopes because I do have gift card holders. It's a nice way, you know, if you work in an office and you're responsible for giving gifts to everyone for the office and they get gift cards, my gift card holders would make that presentation one notch above just a plain envelope with their name on it. Which, yeah, I have received gift cards that way from work, and I'm happy to get the gift card. But you could kick it up a notch. If you're interested in making your own, just let me know, because I could do a video and we could get you some stuff made. So that's what I need to do. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this inside my card. And you know, when you make your cards, you can assemble them any way you want. But what I do want you to notice, I have already wrapped this twine around this center panel, because once you stick it on the card, it's too late. You can't get it stuck on there. So that is one detail. When you come to a card class, you need to kind of look at the card from the bottom up, like a sensible order for how things are put in there. All right, I have already die cut my tree, and I used the Merriest Trees dies. I haven't used these much, but they're going to carry forward. I was really excited about that since I haven't used it very much, because look at the choices of trees. You can build a tree that you can layer. I think you could spend a lot of time making Christmas trees. So I had Christmas trees cut out that were laying here on my table, and I had this bottle of hand sanitizer, and I had this one little random holder. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I could put that together and make a cute little hand sanitizer gift. So that one just needs to be finished. I'm not even going to show you the side. Over here, yeah, that's where all my bits and pieces are. So I'm going to put that on there. And my tree is mounted on dimensionals. So you kind of have to plan it out just a little bit. See where you want that bow to end up, because my tree does have a star on the top of it. And I've already die cut that little star out right here. And I'm going to stick it on with a mini glue dot. So let's lay it there and get it ready. And I need dimensionals. I think I'll just use these mini, because I want one right up here at the very tippy top of the tree. I just want to make sure that I don't put dimensionals where the linen thread is going to be, because it makes kind of a mountain when you add. So right along in here, I can get away with one. I could use the bigger ones down here, but since I pulled that package of the minis, I'll just have to go with it. And it won't matter if it hangs off, because it's on the front of the card. Now I can put my little star on the top of the tree. I'm going to push it, but I don't want it to stick. Then, this lovely gold shimmer paper. I want to say it's an online exclusive that has been in stock and out of stock and in stock and out of stock. And it die cuts wonderfully. What I did, because these are very teeny tiny, is I put some adhesive sheet on the back of my little piece. adhesive sheets are in the annual catalog. I will add those to the list of supplies so you'll know. For these little fine things like this, these little small, they are a lifesaver because you're not having to try and get any adhesive. You could use glue dots. Trying to get my putty to stick to the gold. Maybe if I get some fresh, yes. That pulled the, I'm not sure what it did. Very interesting. So I think I've ended up with no, I've got sticky on it. I just don't know why. And there is an up and a down on these. They're ornaments. So if you'll take a second and look at them, you can kind of tell which is up and which is down. So let's stick it on the shiny side. Then we have to pull our little adhesive paper off. This guy down here. You could just spend hours making cards because all the little details on these handmade cards are what make them so special. So sometimes my cards in card class are pretty involved. Takes them a little longer, but the end result is wonderful. Hello? Someone is watching because it says I have one live viewer. But it's streaming, so I don't know who it is unless you comment. My very merry came from Itty Bitty Christmas. This one is in the annual catalog. It was a carryover from last year. So on the inside, I'm going to put Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. But I picked Very Merry for the front just because. And I'm going to put that on dimensionals. But I think I'm going to pull the package here. I'm using the edges of this one to get them all used up. Because they stick too. They might not be, I don't like it when it does that. They might not be the shape. Doesn't matter. I just need the dimension. And this would have been cute mounted on a scallop, but we don't have those currently. Then the decision is, do I put this on dimensionals or do I do it just straight on? I think today I'll do it on dimensionals. My inspiration card, it's just mounted flat. But the trick here is don't put your dimensional out here on this end because that end needs to stay open. So I can do a dimensional right along in here. And what I did, so I'm not having to guess, is I put it on the front of the card. And then I put it on the corners of the card. And now I have some flexibility. Take my back ears off. Maybe. That one didn't want to give me its backer. And mount that and mount that. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this before I put it in there. And there is a right and a wrong side to these. I don't know if you can tell how distinct these etching marks are, but when you turn them over, they're coming up. See, on this side, the metal goes through that paper, and then you can definitely tell that the right side and the wrong side. Now, if you have to, stamp on the other side, but I usually will cut another one for my ladies because I want them to be happy with their card. And I wouldn't be happy with it if it looked like I had, whoops, stuck in the wrong spot. So it's a little bit tricky. I'm going to grab it and hold it right there so I can adhere it in place. So that's all there is to this card. What makes it cute is the fun fold. The fact that it has two of like the same layers. So what do you think? Kind of a neat way to use up your pretty paper. I am going to get out the other card. Also uses Traditions of St. Nick, but it uses the Santas. That's mostly why I bought this paper. I have a friend who collects Santa Clauses, like all kinds. So she has Santa Clauses that look like the ones on this paper. And when I post the links, you'll need to just click on it just so you can look at the paper. So this one, I've got shaded spruce and real red. I used cherry cobbler on the other one. I'm using festive pearls. They're so pretty. We are using the Regal reindeer for our Merry Christmas and then our sentiment on the inside. Kind of a little bit. My very first card class this year used the Regal reindeer. I used the Nested Elements. That's a set of dies. So there are different sizes. The reason they're called nested is you could cut out 3 different sizes of that. I'm going to throw these extra kits in a tub to kind of clear up my space a little. And I need to get these inked up inks cleaned up and out of the way. That's all there is to that. I like using the Stampin' Chamois. I've gotten used to it and it stays wet all the time. I also use the Scallop Contour dies. That's the die that makes this pretty, pretty scallop. Let me just go ahead and fold that layer underneath the paper. That scallop. Look how pretty that is. And I used one of the other sheets in this pack of paper. I'm not a big fan of just greenery. I've seen some pretty cards with it, but it's not my style. But the backside, look how pretty this backside is. When you really look at it, it looks like either holly or cranberries. It's not just a bunch of colors. There's actually a pattern to it. My ladies teased me because I didn't clean out all of their extra pieces. There's shrapnel out of this. Like, no, I left some of the work for you guys. It was enough that I did your die cutting. So just clean it out. Enjoy the time. Let me get this out of the way. Then look at this awesome piece of plaid. Now this one did come from a different designer series paper. I don't think I wrote in here. No, what other paper I used. And it might have been that same pack. But I don't think so. I think it was from the Joy of Christmas. So we're going to layer those. And then look at this Santa. Even different from this one. And obviously you can tell that one is a green Santa. So my tip for this one, whenever you're cutting pieces out like this, these are 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I kind of had to plan it a little bit. So my sentiment for my card is going to need to go over on this side. And it's mounted on another one of those. I used the gold shimmer paper again. Because it just adds this little pop of sparkle. So let me go ahead, and I think I'll start from the top. But look at the back of this one. But I like the Santas, and I don't have any sheets of the Santas left because there were enough ladies coming to class. Took all that paper. There were 2 sheets because in a package of 12 by 12 paper, you usually get 6 designs, 2 of each. So you get 12 sheets for $12.50. So that's really, if you go to buy pretty paper in the stores, you're going to pay that much or more. And it's not as nice as our paper. Ours is a high quality. It feels good in your hands. It doesn't feel flimsy. I can't tell you the weight. I would have to do some research. Ouch, to do that. Okay. Get Santa mounted on there. And I just put him on a plain white card base. Now, I could have done green. I could have done red. Could have done. And I debated. And I tried some other things. And I just said, let's just keep it simple. Let's go back to basic white. And let the paper do the work. So even though we like the sets that have all the stamps and the dies that coordinate, sometimes you can drop back and just be kind of a simpler. So I'm going to stamp that one in real red, and it really needs it because you can see there's not a lot of red going on. We have the red in the background. So I'll give this a, yep, it's even. That's good. Then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this because I'm going to mount it on the gold. And I don't want it too long. Kind of have to figure out. And I think I will just mount the top edge of it just like that. And it does have to be on dimensionals or it gets lost even with that pretty gold. Put a piece there. That used up that entire sheet. Let me see what I have. About this sheet. This was in a paper pumpkin kit. So I put it where the 2 meet in the back just for added stability. And just kind of figure out. I think though I'm going to do my pearls a little differently. I have blue pearls, silver pearls, and gold pearls on this one, and the red pearls. But I think I'm going to use golds. Let me use them on here because I need to use these up. I think I'm going to scatter them on the card front instead of on the tag. And give it a different look. Could probably put some over there too, but I don't want to overdo it. So let's call that good. And then our inside, I decided to use the plaid again. And I made it the entire width of the card, which is 5.5 inches, because this one was cut at 4 1/4 by 5.5. It's a landscape card, which means the fold is at the top. I don't know, for some reason to me, Christmas cards are supposed to be landscape cards. Don't ask me why. I believe I might have stamped that in the green, but I think I'm going to do it in the red. And this looks like it didn't get cleaned off very good. So before I stick it on my red, let's give it a little bath. Upside down. that not be good? Wishing you a wonderful season filled with all the good things that warm your heart and lift your spirit. It already said Merry Christmas on the front. So how about that? I like it in red a little better than in green. So those were the 2 cards I had for you today. Christmas card inspiration. Thank you. Nice fun fold. It is a pretty fun fold. And you can put as much or as little paper on it as you want to. I wanted to use up this paper, so I put more. And then my Santa, I got to use my Santas. I have 2 kits left, so I will get those made, and maybe you'll be a lucky person and you will get that in your mailbox. So I will post the supply list here in the comments and on my blog, and there'll be a little more cutting instructions when I post it on my blog. So if you want to replicate these cards, if you would like to purchase, you can purchase from me at maryloufoster.stampingup.net, and I'll show you that one. So that's what I have for you today, and I will be back with a couple more cards. I know Christmas is quickly approaching, but some of us don't necessarily have all our Christmas cards made. And maybe these products aren't available any longer, but you might have purchased them and you're like, now what am I going to do with them? So my intent is to provide you with some options. So I thank you for your time and have a really great day. See you next time. Bye.